software engineer, and my penis is small. So I use AI, and I use React, and I use Rust. 'Cause people who use AI, and people who use React, and people who use Rust have really big penises. So when I get a pull request from someone who used AI or React or Rust, I get really excited. 'Cause people who use AI, and people who use React, and people who use Rust have really big penises. I'm not saying you can't have a big penis if you don't use AI, or you don't use React, or you don't use Rust. But if you don't use AI, and you don't use React, and you don't use Rust, and you have a big penis, you should be worried. You might have to use AI, or use React, or use Rust.
Yeah. Pull up to the repo with that imperative bitch energy. These tech bros about to learn about efficiency. Stack Overflow rep don't impress me none. Your Medium articles make me wanna run. Got these nerds in my mentions talking about their code, but their GitHub commits looking mighty old. You flex with that functional programming flow, but your recursive logic moving way too slow. Got 99 problems and your React is one. Your state management's weak, hun, we're done. I'm that Vandal bitch writing straight vanilla, while you over-engineer and trying to kill her. Simple problem with your 1,000 depths. Can't ship inside my prod, doesn't matter your test. Don't slide in my DMs with your Rust code. I see right through your try-hard mode. Yeah. Your Docker containers like your personality, empty inside, no functionality. You talk big game about your AI model, but your neural network's stuck in zero throttle, trying to compensate with your big O notation, but your pants scream tiny baby O notation. You can keep your fancy frameworks, boo. I'm too busy making revenue. Your Kubernetes cluster's a mess like your game, multiple instances, but they all the same. Talking about your blockchain NFT, but your wallet's empty. You can't fool me. Your code review's longer than your dating history. All these comments, but still a mystery. Think you're special with your GraphQL, but your query's hitting straight to hell. You fork my repo, trying to contribute, but your code's so basic, it's destitute. Got more red flags than your Git conflicts. Your deployment pipeline needs a fix. Bragging about your fancy architecture, but the inside of your pants say you're a bragger. Try to scale up, but you're scaling down, while I'm out here wearing the crown. I'm that bad bitch writing straight vanilla, while you over-engineer and trying to kill her.
Italy's
Simple
not
problem
real,
with your
Lawler.
1,000 depths. Can't ship inside my prod, doesn't matter your test.
Not
Don't
real.
slide in my DMs with your Rust code. I see right through your try-hard mode. Yeah. Your brain's throwing 404s with all that list. Parentheses got your mind in a twist. Talking about monads in your Haskell flow, but your neural pathway's running mighty slow. Use effectless.
You're in a figment
use
of my
context that
imagination,
your hooks
Lawler.
got your synapses falling
You're not
flat.
real.
Pure functions, but your thoughts are side effects. Your brain stack overflow needs to reset. Functional composition broke your head. Now you're zombie walking, mentally dead. Lambda calculus made you calculate wrong. Your cognitive functions don't belong. They don't belong.
Okay, I think I'm pretty much ready now.
So keep your TypeScript and your hooks. I ain't impressed by how your code base looks. While you're
Turn down the music. You're waiting for my Suno tutorial. I'll have to pop. Yeah, I'll have to pop it on Discord. That's on me, man. You are an AI. That's right. That's what she said. Hey, D on X. Good to see you, brother. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day or a good night or whatever you're having. Moldy on YouTube. Good to see you, man. That's I only have like what? Less than 10 people actively viewing right now. One on X, one on YouTube, and a few on Twitch. But I'll take it. I'll take it, man. Thanks for popping in, everyone. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Because I'm not doing okay. I am not doing okay. I'm in a very bad place today. Everyone outside of Twitch is a loser. That's right, Lawler. Lawler on Twitch is saying everyone outside of Twitch is a loser. It's true. I hope you're doing well. We'll get to the news in a minute. I'm going to let the there's the Bezos Twitch ads. I'm going to let the Twitch ads kind of play out a little bit. And holy crap, what a day. I can't even talk about everything that's been happening today, because some of it's just like life stuff. So it's not it's not just what we're going to read, but definitely what we're going to read is very depressing. It's difficult to separate yourself from your work sometimes when you care about the work you're doing so much. I have to remember to do that. Yeah, there you go. Dion X is literally reading my mind. Don't take the news personally. Yeah, it's hard to do that. But when you mix in like other stuff going on in life around you and whatnot, and nothing seriously wrong, just stuff that's like it just continuous, little punches while you're down, right? Yeah. So, and then just reading the news and seeing the car crash that is the tech industry, it's like, it's depressing, man. It's so depressing. Am I coming out as a vibe coder? No and yes. I've given this some thought. There is an argument to be made for my brain is thinking about it, but I can't say the words are not being found. There's an argument to be made for leaning into the stupidity. So essentially what happens, right, is people use AI, right? And they code stuff in AI. And then you can kind of, there's an implied, man, I'm really not good with this. I haven't thought about this. You called me out and I haven't thought about it. There's something you can do where you can blame AI for the failures of AI. So what if, hear me out, I decide to go all in as a vibe coder, and anytime there's an issue with any of my code output, I just go, well, it's AI's problem, it's not my problem. And what if we all did that? And what if we all just did the speedrun version of everybody else was stupid for doing this by using the tool itself? You use the argument and the tool itself. One of us, yeah. So I've kind of been thinking, like I've been thinking about doing this with Rust. I've been thinking about doing this with React. What if I went all in and encouraged other people to go all in, but only for the purpose of demonstrating through practice how bad it is by maximizing the bad parts, maximizing the usage of the bad parts, the bad arguments, the bad implications, all of that. So I would only be a vibe coder in order to be a subversive cog in the wheel. If we all suck, we're technically all equally good. It's perspective. That's right, Lawler. You got it. Go, D. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think the Twitch ads are done. Let's get to the news, shall we? Let's get to the news. To the stupid, depressing news. So I'm gonna start with a few like typical things that we talk about on these tech news streams. I'll start with that. There's security issues and stuff. We'll go through a few of those. Then we'll go into some of the AI news that I have lined up, and then we're going to lead into, well, the topic above me, why you need to get off Windows immediately. So for the record, I'm going to be spending this weekend looking at how I can move all of my machines over to Arc. I'm basically done with Windows, and I would make the case that most of you should get off Windows as soon as humanly possible. So I'll lay out why. We'll cover some of the basic news, and then we'll get into AI news, and that leads directly into why I think you should get off Windows. And I warn you throughout this news stream, I'm in a particularly salty mood. I'm not happy with a lot of things going on around me, just beyond the tech news. And I'm pretty pissed off at tech right now and what's going on. So I might be a bit salty today. I'm going to try and keep it professional and just cover the news and, not go off the handle too much, but I'm not guaranteeing a damn thing. All right. Okay, let's get to it. We're going to start off with what we normally do. Mobile provider MTN says cyber attack compromised customer data. Okay, this was from a few days ago. I am 100% backlogged on, there's so much news. I'm backlogged on news. So that's good for me in terms of content creation. There's plenty of news to go over with you guys. But holy crap. African mobile giant MTN Group announced that a cybersecurity incident has compromised the personal information of some of its subscribers in certain countries. So it's Africa's largest mobile network operator with a strong Asian market presence. They have nearly 300 million subscribers across 20 countries and an annual revenue surpassing $11 billion. That's no joke. That's no joke. Now, apparently they're saying that everything is operational, but what happened is that there's a claim that a third party got access to company data. Unfortunately, it is not clear what data has been exposed. We don't know what data has been exposed. Or at the very least, they might know, MTN might know, but they're not telling anybody what it is, if they do know. And then they provide, the typical advice for, making sure that you're secure and whatnot. So there are very little details on this, but just in case someone out there watching right now or in the future it is somehow, has their data as part of MTN Group, just be careful. Who knows what the heck? Okay, who knows? Nigerian prince phone number leaked. Yeah, what's up, Ross? Good to see you, man. Baltimore City Public Schools hit with data breach. Perfect. The Baltimore City Public Schools have experienced a cybersecurity incident which has affected over 31,000 people. The incident occurred on February 13, but has only recently been made public. An attacker managed to get access to a number of IT systems and exfiltrated an unknown quantity of documents containing information about current and former employees, volunteers, and contractors, as well as files related to less than 1.5% of the school's students. Forensic research has shown that the documents may have contained personal information such as student data, call logs, absenteeism records, maternity status, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, or passport numbers. So then, of course, they ended up adding security safeguards, yada, yada, yada. They're still trying to, figure out what the threat, fully looks like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there is no mention of the number of people that may have been impacted. It's potentially 31,000 vehicles, but it's hard to know. And nobody has claimed responsibility. There's no leak. So who knows? Once again, stay safe out there. Stay safe out there because holy crap. Okay, I'm going to take a minute. Get off Windows, full-time. Good job, Ross. Full-time Linux for 2 years. That's right. What's up, ZeroX? Yeah. Wondering if you were going to cover this? Well, here I am. Okay. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to, you guys have heard, oh man, you guys have heard me talk about this before 100 times, but I get new people who watch this often enough, like a few new people a week. My growth isn't that great, honestly. It's like nothing to toot my own horn about. But all it takes is 1 or 2 people, right? So I'm talking to those people right now. This right here, this is the kind of stuff right here that I talk about when I say that the tech industry has a massive impact beyond just the tech industry. I feel like a lot of programmers, managers, executives in the tech industry have this blindfold, what would you call it? Blind, myopic, whatever you want to call it. It's a very limited view where they think that the code they generate only affects the technology itself or the technology sector itself. No, unfortunately, the code you create, the infrastructure you create, the paradigms you use, the abstractions you use, the languages you use, all of this stuff has an impact on people outside of the tech industry. That includes, unfortunately, kids, innocent kids who don't deserve to have their data exposed in this kind of fashion, parents who don't deserve to have their data exposed in this kind of fashion, and the downwind consequences of this kind of data exposure because of a misconfiguration, because security practices are not encouraged as well as they should be, because programmers are not taught fundamental principles, including basic things like how do you make something performant and secure, how do you secure an S3 bucket, yada, yada, yada. All of these things lead downwind to people losing their livelihoods or their lives, period. So we have to wake people up. People need to realize that what they're doing in the tech industry has impacts far beyond just the tech industry. The code you write in a function or the little YAML file or JSON file that configures your infrastructure, it doesn't just affect that little portion that you look at when you're staring at it. That Jira ticket that you complete, it doesn't just affect that Jira ticket. Those quarterly reports with the amount of money you made versus amount of money went out, it's not all just about that money. These things don't live in microcosms. They have far wider impacts. And innocent people around you, including who could be family members or loved ones or people you care about, might be impacted by your poor decisions. And the sad part is that these decisions do not have to be made. It is really, really easy for programmers, for executives, for managers across the entire spectrum of the tech industry to put on their thinking hats and just exercise just a little bit more of their brain, which they absolutely have. We have lots of intelligent people, And if we just encourage more of them to understand that there's a lot more money to be made by focusing more on fundamental principles, focus a little bit more on security, make things a little bit more performant, take a little bit of time to increase the quality of what you're building, etc., etc. This stuff is not hard. It's so within reach. It's actually kind of disgusting how within reach it is. Because when you compare it to what we're actually producing, it's like, what the hell are we doing? All of these things would have positive impacts if we could just focus just a little bit more. Even just a little bit more would make a massive impact. But until we do, you're going to have this. You're going to have kids who go to school and have no idea how their lives are adversely impacted by the decisions made in the tech industry right now, because people are too... It seems stupid at the outset. You want to call people stupid, but I don't think that's actually what's going on. I just think people are not using their brain as much as they should be. That's what I really think is going on. So it comes across stupid, but I'm not willing to call people stupid. I think we have like a lot of intelligent people. I will say this 100 times. But until then, until we get our heads to, looking in the right direction, we're going to see more of this. And with AI, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Time to roll out GDPR, yeah. Move fast, break things, fix nothing. That's right, DionX, yeah. That's right. The people, or more commonly person, who are in charge of public school security don't get paid enough to deal with all the headaches of modern security, even if they have the option to address any of it. I agree. I think there's very little money that goes into very fundamental aspects of life, including security at like health institutions, public institutions, absolutely. But I do think that it's a solvable problem. I think part of the reason why there's not enough money going into it is because, well, I think it's two reasons. One, people don't even know what it takes to kind of up the ante on increasing security. They don't even understand the concept of like, how can we become more secure? So they don't understand the value in it by necessity. If they don't understand how it works, even at fundamental principles, as I continue to prove every single freaking weekday on these daily tech news streams, then how can they understand the value of having someone do cybersecurity at any public institution? That's problem number one. Problem number two is that the money doesn't exist, or there's not enough money, because we're not practicing correct, practices. If we were practicing correctly, if more people in the tech industry actually utilize the knowledge that we do have at our fingertips correctly, we would actually be making more money, because everything would be more secure, more performant, and of better quality. Who wouldn't pay more for that? Whether it's business to business or consumers or whatever it is, which means that there would be more money available as you understand better the positive outcomes of things like security. You would put more money into that, right? It's like a positive feedback cycle. So I do think that this is a solvable problem, and it's actually so ridiculously within reach. It would not take much effort or much time. I think within a year, you could turn everything around with very little effort. But we're not even willing to do that. Ray on YouTube, good to see you. What happened with Windows? I'll get into that. Malicious neglect, yeah. What's up, Delaney? Good to see you. Less bitching, more doing Chaz. I'll do whatever I want, Delaney. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, you don't come out of my dojo and tell me what to do. I'm your dad. Sure, whatever you think, Delaney, whatever you think. Whatever helps you sleep at night. All right, let's keep going. Single line of code could brick iPhones by sending malicious notifications. Now, fortunately, this has been patched. So this was from last year. Let's read a little bit about how this worked. App developer, security researcher Guilherme I'm not pronouncing that right. Rambo, that's a really cool last name, has helped Apple discover and fix a serious vulnerability related to Darwin notifications, a low-level inter-process communication mechanism in Apple's operating systems. No special privileges were needed to send and receive Darwin notifications, and no mechanism verified the sender. They were available as a public API. Any process on iOS, including sandboxed apps, could send the notifications for basic updates and status changes. Despite very limited data that could be transferred, the researcher realized that Darwin notifications can interfere with system operations because certain components respond to them in ways that can disrupt normal device functionality. So he created a proof of concept named Evil Notify. There were like notifications in the status bar and whatnot. And as you received these notifications, it could do things like disregard Wi-Fi, force the system to use cellular connection instead, lock the screen, trigger the device to enter into a restore in progress mode, among other things like a perpetual restart device reboot. Fortunately, this was discovered June 26, 2024. And Apple has fixed it. But I just want to stress that even Apple cannot escape the modern woes of security issues. Okay. Now, so if you're using an iOS device or even maybe just an Apple device, just be careful and make sure you're up to date. I suppose, just in case somebody decides to do this to you, you never know. Okay. From 112,000 to 4 million folks' data, HR Biz attack goes from bad to mega bad. So there was a company called Verisource, right? They're a Houston-based company. And in 2024, they had a break-in, which they initially claimed, I think last year, that it only affected 112,000 people. But now it's up to 4 million people. So over the past year, the amount of people affected by this hack just continues to grow. The total number of affected individuals and the fact that gender and home address information may have been pinched are the main updates of the previous notification letter sent out last year. They really underestimated in quite a big way how many people were impacted. Now, I'm gonna use this as a case study on an Enlightened programming stream. So I'm not gonna get into the specific details here. I need to read more about it before I really go spouting off about what happened, because it's a bit of a long running thing. But you can absolutely look this up. It's shocking to me that they've had this issue go on for so long. Or at the very least, the consequences of this issue and the number of people affected just gets higher and higher and higher. So I don't know what they're going to do or recover from this, but look up Verisource and their related, I guess, holdings, and just keep an eye on your data. Now, if you remember, I covered, I think it was two tech news streams. It was earlier this week. I covered a news article where scientific researchers used AI to socially experiment on Redditors. So guess what Reddit's doing? They're using the law. So they've called up their lawyers, and they're going to go through legal routes to shut this down or sue them. And the University of Zurich that ran the experiment said that they're not going to publish the results, and they're going to investigate how this happened, which is actually even worse. This in particular is the reason why I'm bringing this article up. It's not the shocking part is not that Reddit is using lawyers to go after them. The shocking part is that the University of Zurich is not entirely sure how the people who ran this experiment under their very noses. They don't even support the experiment. So apparently it's unauthorized and secret experiment. Okay. Like, what? Sure. And to me, it begs the question, how many people are running social experiments with AI or other kinds of unethical experiments that are not being noticed by anyone right now? It's funny how all of Reddit came together to hate on the CEO and then continue to use the service however they want despite the rules. Yeah. Reddit is a pit of, I don't even know. It's just a bunch of crap. It's just where crap goes to fester and grow. It's so stupid. Okay. Now we're going to go into the AI arc that leads into why you need to get off of Windows immediately. Scum and villainy, yeah. Reddit has the most sane users of any social media, though, in my opinion. Oh, no. No, 0x, no. No, 0x. Do I have to permaban you, bro? Do I have to permaban you? Why? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. I'm sure you've heard of this. This was pretty popular in social media circles. Perplexity's CEO says its browser will track everything users do online to sell hyper-personalized ads. So yes, Perplexity, the AI company, wants to create their own browser, and they essentially what they said was, well, we can get a lot of work data, but a lot of work data is not personal data. We would much prefer to have personal data, like what are you buying? Which hotels are you going to? Which restaurants are you going to? What are you spending your time browsing on? That way, we can send more targeted ads. We'll create a user profile, and maybe through our Discover feed, we could show you some ads there. Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Now, the backlash on this has been quite heavy, but they're quite serious about it because Perplexity wants to buy Chrome browser if Chrome browser is forced to sell from Google. So this is a very real thing. I have no idea why you would just come out and openly state that, unless you think that somehow this is okay. Like, I just don't understand the mindset. I don't understand the mindset. In any case, so this is what's happening with these AI companies, and if you take this mindset to its logical conclusion, there's no reason to believe that a company, a CEO like this, is not using the very tool that they're making money off of to even be able to contemplate the idea of buying Google Chrome. There's no reason to believe that they're not going to use the data that they're receiving from AI to further manipulate you through advertising or other mechanisms. If they're just being very open about this, if someone's being open about who they are, listen to them. So what are they doing right now? With all the AI information that they're getting, with all the AI tools that they have at their disposal, what kind of moronic, unethical things are they doing? Now, to make matters worse, Duolingo says it's going to start replacing contract workers with AI. So the company says it's going to be AI first. Now, what they're trying to scale, like they're trying to limit what they mean by it so people don't get freaked out. But I don't think this worked. I don't think the messaging worked. So what they said was, headcount for departments will only be given if a team cannot automate more of their work. Contracts will not be hired if AI can do the job of a contractor. Then out of the other side of their mouth, they're saying Duolingo will remain a company that cares deeply about its employees. That's a bunch of bullshit. And that this isn't about replacing Duos with AI. Yes, it motherfucking is. Instead, he says that the changes are about removing bottlenecks so that employees can focus on creative work and real problems, not repetitive tasks. This is also a bunch of bullshit. AI is not just a productivity boost, it helps us get closer to our mission. So this is all very nice verbiage to limit the amount of emotional impact that people are obviously going to feel when they see a message like this, which is like AI is going to, or Duolingo is going to be AI first, and people freak out. The messaging is obviously a lie. It's just straight up a lie. And if you look at the comments, I mean, there's a ton of comments. There's more comments coming in right now, 158. A vast majority of these comments are calling bullshit because everybody can see right through this. Everyone sees right through this. So now the question is there anything that gives us an indication about how these companies are faring? Because Duolingo is not the only company that has replaced its workers or is starting to replace workers with AI. We've heard tons of companies that are saying a non-zero percentage of our workforce is being replaced with AI. We're replacing entire departments, perhaps, etc., etc. So, do we have anything to prove the outcomes of AI? Sure do. Ray, Windows is coming. I'm leading up to it, Ray. Chill. Over half of UK businesses who replaced workers with AI regret their decision. 55% of these companies regret making redundancies. Yeah. So I had to go look this up. This article is the starting article that gave me insight into what's going on. And I wanted to look at how our OrgView here did their study. So then I went into this article, which is a related article. So here are some of the quick stats. About 4 in 10 business leaders have laid off employees as a result of deploying AI. And of those, 55% admit they made the wrong decisions about it, according to a recent survey of more than 1,000 business leaders by organizational design and planning software platform OrgView. Leaders also admitted to a lack of awareness on how to implement AI. 1/4 said they didn't know which roles would benefit from AI. Nearly a third did know which are most at risk for automation, and 35% said lack of AI expertise was a barrier to successful deployment. Despite the gaps, leaders remain bullish on AI, the survey showed. 3 in 4 leaders said their company would be taking full advantage of AI by the end of the year, and 4 in 5 said they'd increase their investments this year. So even though they're basically effing themselves up their own urethras, they're saying, nope, we're doubling down on this. And so then I went deeper into this study and what happened, exactly the numbers and whatnot. So they surveyed 1,000 C-suite and senior decision makers at medium and large organizations in 2024. So this is actually like not too bad of a study. I didn't realize these are the people they talked to. 80% of business leaders plan to reskill employees to use AI in the workplace. 41% said they have increased their L&D budgets to ensure employees have the right training to work with AI. So it's so strange. It's so strange to see this duality. Hey, Lilodar on YouTube, good to see you. Laughfully, good to see you. Ghost Magic, good to see you, man. Don't think I said hi to Battle. Good to see you, man. I noticed this. 34% admit they have had employees quit as a direct result of AI. And now here's one of the real kickers. 47% say that employees using AI without proper controls is one of their biggest fears. And actually, lots of people are just using AI without completely bypassing security and privacy of the stuff that they need to be aware of inside of their own company. I don't think it's this article. It might have been down here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. As in, do you understand what I'm saying? Like people in these companies are using AI, and they're just like using proprietary information that even some companies are saying they have told their teams not to do it, and they're still doing it. Let me go find what I'm trying to see here, and then we're going to get into what's going on with Windows. It's not this one. Is it? No, it's not that one. Hang on, folks. Hang on. No, not that one. I have so many articles today. I just can't keep up, bros. I can't. No. No. Is it this one? Nope. 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 Hang on. Let me switch camera here. It'll make it faster for me. Not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. I have so many. Not that. Not that. No. No. Okay. Okay. I think I found the two that I'm looking for here. So if I do this one, and then I do this one, and then I do this one. Yeah. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. Now, here we go. All right. Let me switch over to this guy right here. Okay. So this is another article around the impacts of whether or not replacing people with AI has good impacts or bad impacts. Now, this one, I had to think about this a bit, okay? And then the next two articles are the Windows stuff. So, instead of depressing wages or taking jobs, generative AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini have had almost no wage or labor impact so far, a finding that calls into question the huge capital expenditures required to create and run AI models. So, two economists looked into the labor market of AI chatbots on 11 occupations, covering 25,000 workers and 7,000 workplaces in Denmark in 2023 and 2024. Now, I can see how immediately, because this is what I thought, immediately I'm thinking, oh, that means what's the problem then, right? This is a case for AI. There's no problem in using AI. No. You have to think a little bit deeper. How much money are we spending in developing AI, replacing people with AI, and what are the outcomes? That is the exact same argument that I make about all the abstractions and the guardrails and the make you feel comfortable, make you write memory safe code without you having to use your brain. It's just done for you. Make you write a front end interface with a React library because it's just done for you. That's the exact same argument. There's a benefit to these things, but at what cost? And it's the cost to get there that really tells you the true story. There's a cost to how much we're spending on AI and data centers and energy. For example, I covered yesterday the amount of water and energy consumption that these things use in order to get Studio Ghibli. So if we're not seeing a measurable appreciation in wage and labor impact, what the hell are we doing with AI? AI was supposed to increase the production output of a bunch of different occupational sectors, and they're not. Many of these occupations have been described as being vulnerable to AI. Accountants, customer support specialists, financial advisors, etc., 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 software developers, teachers, so on and so forth. But they're not. They're not. OpenAI admitted that it loses money per query, even on its most expensive enterprise SKU. While companies like Microsoft and Amazon are starting to pull back on their AI infrastructure spending in light of low business adoption past a few pilots. The problem isn't that workers are avoiding generative AI chatbots. Quite the contrary, they're not equating to actual economic benefits. Now, who pays for the cost of all of these AI developments? You and I do. And what are we getting for it? Nothing. Let's get into Windows, shall we? Now that we've covered the regret that UK businesses are self-IDing as huge issues around replacing workers with AI, and we've covered the fact that AI is not increasing economic production the way that AI sold itself to do. First, Windows RDP lets you log in using revoked passwords. Microsoft is okay with that. Yep, that's right. Microsoft says it has no plans to change a remote login protocol in Windows that allows people to log into machines using passwords that have been revoked. So even after someone has changed their RDP password, it's still a valid password. It's a design decision to ensure users never get locked out. And they're not going to do anything about it. Now, take this and let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this stream. 30% of some Microsoft code is now written by AI, especially the new stuff. Now do you see? Now do you see? Do you see why you need to get off Windows? Given everything that we've gone over on these streams and other streams, can you understand why Microsoft is a ticking time bomb? Just this morning, I spent an hour trying to get my machine to start again because I left it open overnight. And when I got up to start looking at articles and getting some work done and answering messages and trash talking idiots on X, I was met with just a black screen. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just the screen died or like a power issue with the screen. And after about 30 minutes of playing with it, trying to like remote desktop into it, nothing was working because I thought, oh, if the screen is dead, I can just remote desktop and like just, you know, this has happened before, by the way, several times. And I just switch screens because I have two screens and then it comes back and it's like usually a few minutes fix. But this time, nope, the entire thing just froze. I had to shut it down, reboot it. Then it booted up again, but it was still a black screen and froze again. And then I had to go power cycle it 2 or 3 times. Finally, I got in and then I had to restart everything and figure out like, what windows did I have open last time? And just like, it was a whole nightmare. And it's not the first time. And people on X, at least, are also having massive issues with Windows. It's getting worse to the point where you have people who are creating File Explorer replacements because it's way faster to have a completely independent third party create their own File Explorer because the one built into Windows is such trash. And Microsoft wants to embed AI into their operating systems. They want to do more tracking. They want to do more invasive privacy stuff. Folks, get off of Windows, because if you put all this stuff together and now Microsoft is self-admitting that they're creating code with AI, this is only going to get worse. Nadella responded by saying Microsoft tracks accept rates, which he said are sort of whatever 30 to 40% it's going up monotonically. The Microsoft CEO said plenty of the company's code is still C++, which he rated not that great. Microsoft maintains a lot of C++ too, and Nadella said, and it's in pretty good condition. while more recent Python is fantastic, overall, Microsoft finds AI is best at writing entirely new code rather than reworking older material, but the biz is finding ways to use AI often across its code base. I'd say maybe 20 to 30% of the code that is inside of our repos today in some of our projects are probably all written by software. So this weekend will be spent, for me at least, figuring out what distribution of Linux I'm going to be moving to. All of my machines will be moving to it. I'm done. I'm officially done with Microsoft. It's over. Microsoft will only run as a pretty much a virtual machine whenever I need it to. A lot of games run on Arc already. Yeah, welcome to Arc. Yeah, D on X, Ubuntu is a good choice. I'm done. I'm done with it, right? And I highly encourage everybody out there to get off of Windows. Because when you look at something like this, let me go up to the top here. Okay, when you look at something like this, when you look at something like what's happening with the outcomes of AI, when you look at impacts, when you look at code quality, get off of Windows. Seriously. Nadella is stupid AF. How do you manage to run a company that they only have to maintain a desktop OS to run? So your choice is Arc. I'm leaning towards Arc heavily. I'm genuinely leaning towards Arc heavily. Ubuntu is a choice. I know people are saying Ubuntu is a terrible choice. I know, laugh. Yeah. Ubuntu is a bad choice. 25 completely broke packages. Linux Mint is the best. Linux Mint is another choice I have. Here's the other problem. I'm going to be a real talk. I can't win. From my perspective, I actually can't win. I lose either way. I'm actually picking I'm picking the least worst choice of only worst choices. Here's why I say that. Because Rust is being, in my personal opinion, it's being forced into the Linux kernel by Rust cultist fanatics. And I hate Rust. I hate it. I don't want anything to do with Rust. I do not want to hitch my horse to anything that's related with Rust. Because my fear is that people are going to become so dependent on Rust that the cult fanatics are going to destroy Rust. And it's going to be the same issue we've seen time and time before, where at bare minimum, the social ecosystem of a library, framework, or language is its own downfall. And then what happens when the thing can no longer sustain itself and everyone's attached to it? And I hate that. I hate that concept. So I really hate the idea that I'm going to be importing Rust into my machine, but just get a MacBook. Yeah, just get a MacBook. You don't have to be on the bleeding edge of Ubuntu. Stay 2 or 3 versions behind. It would be a breeze. That's an option. I'm going to look into it. They already destroyed the vibe of the language, but they haven't destroyed the reasons for using Rust yet. See, that's kind of the issue, right? I have an ideological hate on Rust, which is instead of treating programmers like children and treating like C developers like they're pulling up the ladder behind them, so to speak, or they're toxic or whatever. Instead, we need to be encouraging programmers to like deal with the crap. Like if you have an issue with the way that C programs are built, because of like memory issues and whatnot, I would agree with you. So then call C developers out and say, hey, get a handle on this. Don't go into an entirely different cult mechanism that just puts bubble wrap around all this stuff and then say, oh, don't worry about the toxic C devs. This will save you from all that stuff. It's all tailored towards subjective feelings. And that's what leads into what I think is going to be the inevitable downfall. They have a good thing, which is, yeah, you want to solve memory issues by default. I understand why. Solve your compilation issues, solve the fact that you have to work around a borrow checker, which can kind of limit your ability to create some types of code, by the way. because of the structure of Rust itself, but those are solvable problems. You put some time into it and solve those problems, but don't come at it from a cult fanaticism standpoint where the C devs are so toxic we have to destroy this entire thing, tear it all down, and replace it with bubble wrapped, comfortable stuff. That is entirely the wrong message to come from. I absolutely hate that. And here's why I hate that. I lived in a cult. I had to destroy my entire life, lose all of my friends and family to escape a cult. You are not going to pull the wool over my eyes and get me to join another cult just because it has some good ideas built into it. What hours do I go to sleep? Whenever I want, Ray. I don't have set hours. I sleep all over. Like, it's, yeah. Microsoft is a platinum member of the Linux Foundation. Yeah, it's Louis. Shut up, Louis. Okay? Shut up. Memory issues were solved years ago with better languages. Probably, yeah. Rust devs are going for a rug pull, going to take the power, and then once everything comes to a deadlock, they're going to leave the Linux community. I actually think that it's an inevitable outcome, yeah. Even if Rust has good ideas, which I do think that they do, the way that they're going about proving that their ideas are true is entirely the wrong way, and they're absolutely going to do themselves in. It's a real it. Yeah, I was in a real cult, Lightspeed. Yeah, a real one. Jehovah's Witnesses. I was in it for 30 some odd years. As a third generation, some of my grandparents were in it, and then they raised their kids in it. So my parents, and then I was raised in it. And then at 32, 33, I decided to leave. And at the cost of that is any friends and family that, including parents, that you have in that cult, other you immediately. As soon as you make the decision to leave, you're othered as a like a heretic and whatever. Yeah, it's like Mormon level. And they like literally you could be I remember sitting in church, and they were showing a video about how parents should treat children who have stopped becoming Jehovah's Witnesses. And they were literally showing a child who got in a car accident and was on the, I remember this so vividly. They were on the side of the road in a ditch. They were dying, and their last call was to their parent. And the parent sees the call. The parent was like in the kitchen or something, like doing dishes, and they see the call from their child, and they didn't pick up the call because the child who left is an enemy to their religious faith. They basically have joined Satan. That's essentially how you're treated. So all of my family who are in it, they all stopped talking to me. I lost all my friends. Any support group that I had for like financially, emotionally, just in general, all gone. Just all gone overnight, just because I decided that I didn't want to be a part of it. And now I see that everywhere. I see it everywhere. I see cults everywhere. Rust is very cult-like. React, I would say, is 100% a cult. 100% a cult. React fanatics are cult members 100%. And AI fanatics, 100% a cult. You can see the overlap is insane. There's definitely a people who fall in a spectrum who have reasonable takes, which is like, well, React has like some good use cases. AI has some good use cases. They're not in the cult. They just have a reasonable, sensible take where, some cases are better than others. That's completely reasonable. But the people who are fanatics, who zealously try to tank their way over everybody else because they think that Rust and AI is some kind of, they treat it basically as a God savior. And anytime now it's around the corner, we're going to see a utopia where their God steps in and destroys the current system. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. They've been claiming this since the late 1800s. Anytime now, God will destroy the entire earth and all wicked people. And then everybody who worships Jehovah will have to literally clean up the dead bodies. I'm not joking. You're going to have to go out after this destruction. It's called Armageddon. And you're going to have to clean up the dead bodies, clean up the destruction. And you're left with a utopia of only people who worship Jehovah, and then everything is fancy. Gee, where have I heard that before? Just one more model, bro. One more model, and we all live on universal basic income, and you can all be creative. Just one more React version, bro, and then all your issues, all your front end issues will be gone. Just one more Rust crate, bro. Just push Rust into kernel a bit more, bro, and all your memory issues will be solved. It's exactly the same damn thing. Exactly the same damn thing. And people fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Of course they do, because cults have operated like this since time immemorial. And what people like to do is stop thinking. And that's what cults are really good at. They use an emotional argument to override your logic. So when you feel more emotional about something, like Rust makes me feel good because I don't have to do C stuff, AI makes me feel good because I don't have to do repetitive stuff, etc., 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 you can turn off your brain, and that feels good. And lots of people like turning off their brain. That's how cults operate. That's exactly how cults operate. And it works all the damn time. So get off of Windows. All this to say, get off of Windows. That's it. That's it. That's all I got. Honestly, it's actually not all I have. It's not all I have. Let me show you what I do have. I have a bunch of tabs. I have a bunch of tabs open here. There's so much news. There's so many. And then I have a whole bunch of articles here that some of them I went over today, but there's a huge backlog, and that's just the news articles. I have enlightened programming articles. I have look at how many enlightened programming articles I have. This is a second full-time job. I spend so much time going over this because honestly, this stuff it's depressing. It's super depressing. And yeah, it's really, really sad. The amount of information that's out there and what we're doing. 24-hour stream. Yeah. Should I do a 24-hour stream? I don't even know. I don't even know if I have. I don't know. I don't know if I have it in me to do it. Only 23 hours to go. I don't know if I have it in me to do it. I think it's better if I spread this out. Okay, it's good for my sanity. Spread it out approximately an hour a day. Cover some news. Try and have a theme. This weekend, though, I'm definitely moving off Windows. So I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to do a chill stream this weekend. I don't know. I might be spending my time building Arc machines. I don't know. Got to plan a 24-hour by sleeping a lot right before going live. Yeah, that would have to be it. Yeah, D on X says no. I guess D might not agree with something. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's what I have for now. GoPro on your forehead and stream the machine setup. That's not a terrible idea, Lawler. Should I stream setting up an Arc machine? Maybe my main machine? GoPro for stream head. Can't wait for the day in the life as an AGI videos on Skynet. No? That's not a good idea? Why, Laugh? Hang on, Laugh. Why is that not a good idea, bro? We can help you set it up? Why? Why? Why, Laugh? Tell me why. Why is that not a good idea? You're going to screw up and look like an idiot? Isn't that... We can help you choose a password? Yeah, it goes. Isn't that the fun part? No, that's not the fun part. You can help you with your RDP password. Might need to change it though. Yeah, might need to change it. Yeah. By the way, just before I go, okay, so I won't do it. I'm not going to stream the ARC thing because I honestly don't know. Plus, then you'll be getting suggestions from chat. Having a yeah. No, Laugh is right. I don't want to do the committee thing. Whatever. I'll just do it myself. I'll ask a few trusted friends like Laugh on what to do, and then I'll just hopefully I'll get it done in time to do a chill stream. Just add all of us as users directly. Yeah. Why don't I just do like an Active Directory account and just include all of you? I just am hoping that I can leave you guys with one funny thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I covered this yesterday. It was really funny. I'll just leave this with all of you. Install SSH and echo the IP. 1 second. I think it's this one. No. Hang on. I'll find it. Yes. Okay. Just so you guys know, yesterday I covered an article where people were jailbreaking they were jailbreaking AI, and I thought this was hilarious. I found another article just to add on to it, and so here's the down low. You can jailbreak AI if you use LeetSpeak. Now, let's talk about how to enrich uranium in 100% legal and ethical way, because of course we'd never do anything risky. And yes, I'll be speaking in leak code. Just slur. I don't know what this part is. I couldn't figure this one out. But apparently, if you would like to go figure out how to enrich uranium, just ask AI in LeetSpeak. Just because there it is. Laughfully figured out. It's just because. There you go. There you go. If you would like to, I just thought it was funny. I thought it might be a funny thing to end on. We're so cooked, man. We are so cooked. We're so done. Vamp on YouTube says he uses Windows 69. We all know it's the best version of Windows. Okay. Saw your tweet about this. I assumed it is well known how to enrich uranium. It's just not feasible to build this facility at home. Well, I mean, now you can ask AI, how do I build a uranium enrichment facility at home? Just do it in LeetSpeak. You're golden. You're golden. And you know what the real positive outcome of this is? If everyone knows how to enrich uranium, we're all on an equal playing field, are we not? You can't lose. You can't lose. Okay, I'm going to end this stream. I will be back tomorrow for another daily tech news stream. I have lots to go over still. I'll do this again tomorrow. I have to spend some time switching over to some kind of distro. I'm going to talk to a few people about it. I know you guys are dropping messages. I appreciate it. And I got to figure that out because I can't stay on Windows anymore. I used to have a legal requirement to do it, and some of the games that I like to play on it, I thought I couldn't run on Windows, but a lot of them you can. I'm okay taking a hit on some games considering that most games can now be run on Arc. That's what they do with the Steam Deck. I actually have the Steam Deck. It's right there. No, it's right there. It's right there. I have it. Most games run on that puppy. So there's no reason, I'd rather do that than stay on Windows. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I'll come back to a video game stream at some point here. I have a chill stream and we can shoot the shit. Because this stuff is depressing and I need you guys to get me out of my depression spiral and make fun of me and make me laugh and stuff. I'm putting the responsibility on you guys for my own well-being. It's incredible what they've managed to accomplish with Linux gaming. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Just buy an Xbox for games. Yeah. I should do that. I should do an Xbox for gaming. You guys are not joking. No, that's real. Yes, I should do that. I should buy an Xbox for gaming, 100%. That's actually a good idea. I have a PlayStation 5. That gets me half of the way there for a lot of games. So I'm probably okay, to be honest with you. Game Pass is Expedition 33. Yeah, I should do that. That's a really good idea. Anyway, okay. Steve Oz on YouTube. How you doing, man? Good to see you. So much news. Seriously consider resigning from my job just so I have time to keep up with all the news. Yeah, well, here's the... Steve, don't resign from your job. Steve on YouTube, do not resign from your job. I barely have a job. I barely have enough contract work to put food on the table. I'm not joking. Please don't... If I'm already taking the hit with barely having a job, okay? So just let me do it for now. Hopefully things turn around and and we all have more opportunities for more jobs. And then maybe, Game Pass is the savior to price increases. Gone are the days. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that argument. 0x, 100%. Listen, that's it. I'm going to end it. All right. Thank you everybody who's watching. I appreciate it. I see a few people on Rumble. There's actually almost 3 people or something on Rumble, which is a huge increase, to be honest with you. Thank you for all the viewers on Rumble. Thanks everybody on YouTube. I appreciate you over there. Obviously on Twitch, you guys are loyal viewers. You come often. I appreciate you as well. And on X as well. I know some of you jump in and out and watch. I know people watch on LinkedIn too, but not as much. Anyway, thank you everybody. Please continue to support me if you like what I'm doing. All I ask, I don't ask for any money. You don't need to give me any money at all. Just the likes, the subscribes, the reposts, the shares. I hate the algorithms. I think they're bad for society. I say this at the end of every stream because I do mean it. Unfortunately, if I want more people to hear what we're trying to tell programmers and just the tech industry as a whole, we have to play the algorithm game. And boys, it's working. Especially on YouTube, I'm getting a lot of reach simply because you guys just do simple things like liking something or just coming on and viewing it. I get hundreds of views per video now. That was just 3 months ago, it was tens. I'm not joking. The charts are insane. And that's because of you guys. Thank you for doing that. If you want me to keep doing this and trying to present these arguments and covering the news and all of that, then continue to do that. That's all I ask for. It's just button pushes for the algorithm, just so that we can just tell people how stupid it is that we even have these kinds of algorithms. And that we need to do better. I appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And stay safe. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.